Welcome. Welcome, my dear friends. Myself, Professor Dr. Rajendra Deshpande, would like to welcome you all in my Ayurveda Academy YouTube channel. Today's lecture is related with the physiology subject and especially about muscle physiology. But I think this is not actually the real muscle physiology because this type of the sodium potassium pump is required for many activities, physiological activities in the human body. So although sodium potassium pump is very much essential part of the many activities, it is acting through the cell membrane. So transport across the cell membrane, this particular topic is very important for your examination purpose. And in that, what you can say, the cell membrane physiology, sodium potassium pump is one of the important entity. So let us see what is actually this pump. Pump is like force. It is useful to take in something and throw out something. Pumping action. Heart is also a pump. So let us see. As you know, heart. It is not actually I am talking about sodium potassium pump. I am giving you the word pump. Heart is a pump which is taking the impure blood and throwing out the pure blood. Pumping action. Pumping action. Can you see? This pumping action is done with the molecules, ions, that is sodium and potassium. So let us see where the sodium and potassium pump is acting and how it is acting. So today's lecture is muscle physiology, not only muscle physiology, general physiology, but we will talk about sodium potassium pump. It will be a question for short answer question, 5 marks. Describe sodium potassium pump. Okay, so let us see what is sodium potassium pump. First, sodium potassium, these are the ions. Okay, everybody knows these are the ions, and ions are transported across the cell membrane, here to here, across. This is a cell membrane. Something is coming in from extracellular fluid, ECF. Outside the cell is extracellular, and inside the cell is ICF, intracellular fluid. Something is coming from external to inside and from internal to outside. That particular process here is called as a transport across the cell membrane by means of carrier protein. To go out or to come in, there is need of some help. And this help is nothing but the carrier protein. I think in many of my lectures of muscle physiology or general physiology, Dr. Deshpande, as he is a professor, always giving example, same example of gathering or exhibition or any event in the college, and he is always saying that VIP guests are welcomed by volunteers on the main gate. Okay, so these volunteers are taking the VIP guests inside the principal's cabin from outside of the college to inside. So similarly here, these carrier proteins are like volunteers. But here we are talking about the important carrier protein, and which is called as today's topic, sodium potassium pump. Sodium is Na plus and the potassium is K plus molecules or electrons or the ions. Okay, it is also called as another name for the same pump, sodium potassium NaK ATPase. ATP is an energy molecule. ATPase. ASE is an enzyme. So NaK ATPase pump, another name, or NaK ATPase, not pump, only NAK. So these are the different names: sodium potassium pump, sodium potassium ATPase pump, or sodium potassium ATPase. These are the three names for the same topic. For SAQ, any name can be given for describe NaK ATPase pump, or describe NEK ATPase, or describe sodium potassium pump. So don't get afraid. These are all the same topics. This sodium potassium pump transport sodium ions from inside to outside. Carefully listen and remember, sodium from inside to outside and potassium from outside to inside. For MCQ, again this question is for MCQ. MCQ is a new addition in the BAMS course. Those students who are appearing for the first year BMS final examination in MUHS Nashik, Nashik, Maharashtra State, they should remember that NCRSM, this new body, governing body of education system of Ayurveda, they have started this new system of syllables And they said not only SAQ and LAQ, but from here you will also attend the MCQ, multiple choice question. So all the definitions, all the numbers, and all these type of the small terminology you should remember for MCQ purpose. Okay, sodium is going from inside to outside, and potassium is coming from outside to inside. Okay, this pump is present. That's why I have said all cells of the body. It is not only the skeletal muscle. Everywhere the sodium potassium ions are exchanging from outside to inside, inside to outside. NAK pump is responsible for the distribution of sodium and potassium ions across the cell membrane. Why? Why this transport is needed? Why they are not happy? Sodium inside happy, potassium outside happy? No. When you want to do some activity in the cell, whatsoever activity, a movement, skeletal muscle movements, visceral movements, cardiac movements, whenever there are some activities, you must have to change your original composition and structure of the cell. Configuration. External plus positivity, and inside negativity is called as a RMP. Resting membrane potential. Relax. External positivity, internal negativity. But if you want to make some action, this polarity changes, and that is called as RMP is converted to action potential. RMP is changed, polarity change, and that polarity change is, the word is depolarization. Don't forget this name. When RMP is changing, resting membrane potential is changing, that is called as depolarization. Okay, and for that purpose this particular pump activity is needed. Okay, structure. What is the structure of this NAK pump? Carrier protein that constitutes NAK pump is made up of two protein subunit molecules. Again, for MCQ, whenever there is number, it is for MCQ, multiple choice question. What are those particular subunits of the protein molecules? Number 1, alpha subunit, and number 2, beta subunit. This is, we are discussing about the inner aspect of NAK pump, structure of the NAK pump. And I have said that this pump is made up of two protein subunit molecules, subunits. And which are those subunits? Alpha and beta. Alpha and beta are the subunits of protein molecules in NAK pump. Alpha and beta you must remember for the, yes, MCQ purpose. Now alpha subunit is weight number is here, MCQ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 lakhs, weight of 1 lakhs, and this beta subunit with a molecular weight of 55,000. So naturally this is heavier. Alpha subunit is heavier. Okay. Transport of Na and K occurs, sodium and potassium exchange, sodium going out, potassium coming in. This is mainly concerned with alpha subunit, not beta. Only alpha subunit is doing all these activities. But then you will ask, what is the beta subunit? Unfortunately, the function of beta subunit is a glycoprotein. It is understood. Glyco means carbohydrates, sugar. So it is a mixture of carbohydrates and protein. So this is a glycoprotein. Oh, but function not known. Beta subunit, no. Alpha subunit, everybody knows that this is concerned with the NAK pump transportation. Sodium out, potassium in. Okay, that much now you have understood. Next, structure. We are continuing structure. Alpha subunit of NAK pump again has got 6 sites. Totally at 6 places these molecules are present. Alpha subunit. Okay. Number 1, we are now giving the mathematical completion of 6. Where is the 6th number? So 3 receptor site for sodium ions on the inner side. Naturally, sodium is going from inside to outside, and it is carried by the receptors. Okay. So this particular inner side is means inside, intracellular fluid, cytoplasm, surface of the protein molecule. Again, I will repeat, 3 receptor sites. There are 3 number for sodium ions of the inner surface of the protein molecule. NAK pump, of course. Then next, two receptor sites for potassium. Naturally, there should be some also, what you can say, the carriers should be available. So receptor should be available. Welcoming volunteers. Two receptor sites for potassium ions of the outer surface on the potassium molecule. This is in the ECF. This is towards the ICF, intracellular fluid. So there is now 6. We are talking about 6. 3 and 2 are completed. Next, one site that alpha subunit is for the enzyme ATP, or rather enzyme. When we say enzyme, ATP is different and ATPase is different. ATP is an energy molecule. ATPase is an enzyme which is doing this, helping for the creation of the energy. So ATPase, formation of ATP, which is near the site of, again, sodium. Okay, next, action of NAK pump. We will talk about action of the NAK pump, how that mechanism is acting. 3 sodium ions from the cell get attached to the receptor site, because we have already discussed about 3 number of sodium ions on the inner surface of carrier protein. Okay, 3 receptors are there. Sodium is attached for 3, 1, 1, 1. 2 potassium ions outside the cell bind the receptor sites of potassium ions located outside the surface of the NAK pump. Okay. Next, here you can see this is extracellular fluid. Can you see? ECF. This is intracellular fluid. This is cell membrane. This is cell membrane. This is cell. This is outside of the cell. This is inside of the cell. Now we are discussing about NAK pump. Now we have already said this is receptor. Can you see? 2 receptors here. 3 receptors here for Na, potassium. 2 receptors for K. You have to draw this figure in the examination. Don't forget. Very simple figure. So Na, can you see the arrows? Na will go from here to here and K will come from here to here. 3 will go out. Of course, Na plus and also K are also plus. But 3 are going out and 2 are coming in. Here stage 1, just the resting and then depolarization. This Na has been already gone out and this is K has been come inside. Okay, next. Binding of sodium and potassium ions to carrier protein activates the enzyme ATPase. ASE, this suffix is always for enzyme. ATPase causes breakdown of ATP into adenosine diphosphate, ADP, with the release of one high energy phosphate molecule. Okay. Now, the energy liberated causes difference in the conformational change in the molecule of carrier protein. They changed a little bit configuration, conformational changes because of the energy, like this. Okay, something will happen. Because of this, the outer surface of the molecule with potassium ions now faces the inner side of the cell. Okay, next. And the inner surface of the protein molecule with sodium ions faces the outer side of the cell. Exchange will be occur. Now, dissociation and release of ions takes place so that sodium ions are released outside and potassium ions are released inside the cell. Okay. NAK pump moves 3 sodium, don't forget this number, 3 sodium ions inside the cell and 2 potassium ions outside the cell. So more positivity is coming inside. Try to understand. More positivity. Both are positive, but Na are coming. So I'm sorry, 3 sodium ions going outside. Okay. So positivity is less inside now. More positivity gone out. Are you understanding? More positivity is going out, so inside there will be negativity. Okay. Thus, when the pump works once, there is a great net loss of 1 positivity charge ion from the cell. How can you understand how 1? Because again, I am telling you, 3 sodium are going out, like an exchange offer, but only 3 positive gone out, and only 2 positives are coming in. Are you understanding? So there is 1 lack of positivity, whatever it may be. One less positive means negativity. It's a relative terms. 1 positive less means it is negative. So inside will be now, do you understand? More positivity and negativity. This particular, again, I will explain you. Continuous activity of sodium potassium pump causes reduction in the number of positively charged ions inside, leading to the increased negativity. Are you getting my point? Inside there will be negativity. This is called as the electrogenic activity of NAK pump. This is called as the electrogenic activity of the NAK pump. Now, the last but not least point, sir, why I am studying this? Why I am studying this NAK pump? Because there is this physiology will give you the idea about pathology, and when you understand the pathology, their medicines you can prescribe very nicely. Pharmacology will be understood, medicine will be understood. So physiology is the base of pathology and pharmacology and medicine. Don't forget this. So abnormalities, there are number of what you can say, there will be abnormality in the number, or there may be abnormality in the function of that NAK pump. Two types of abnormalities. Number one is number, and number two is a function. Okay. Reduction in either the number of NAK pump in myocardium is associated with cardiac failure. As you know, this is cardiac failure is a serious thing, disease. And excess reabsorption of sodium in renal tubules is associated with hypertension. If the excessive sodium ions from the urine are coming back to the blood, what will be happen? Blood density will increase. And naturally, when blood density will increase, what you can say, the peripheral resistance will increase, because blood pressure is dependent on two factors: cardiac output and peripheral resistance. Cardiac output and peripheral resistance. So this is happening there. That means peripheral resistance again is dependent on the density of the blood, lumen of the vessel. So naturally density will increase and BP will be shoot up. So I think you have understood a little bit that in short, I will tell you that first there are, as I have said, that sodium ions going from inside to outside and potassium ions are outside to inside, and that all the mechanism is depend on the NAK pump. This is a protein type of the what you can say, the mechanism or the pump is there. There are different names of the pumps. Structure I have discussed, then the function I have discussed, and I have also discussed the abnormalities. I hope you can write now SAQ for the sodium potassium pump. This is not only existing in the skeletal muscle, this NAK pump is existing throughout your cell body, and this is also concerned with the transport of the transport across the cell membrane. This topic is also related with the transport across the cell membrane. There are two mainly transports, are active transport and passive transport. So this is a part of the active transport. Sodium potassium pump is under the category of active transportation. I hope you have liked this video, so please share this with your friends and request them, all of them, to subscribe the genuine efforts of the Dr. Deshpande to give you the idea about the different educational and practical important topics in the medical practice, and also the common man, they can be benefited by my channel by interesting Ayurveda for all type of the videos that I am teaching the Ayurveda in a very simple and lucid language. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next video. All the best for your career and for your exam.